This episode is sponsored by VOinbox.com, the only full-service marketing tool for established professional voice actors.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks. I am the host of The VO Life, Troy Holden, coming to you from near Nashville, Tennessee, but not really that close. Not 45 minutes. Maybe an hour if traffic's bad. You never know. But actually, if you go to the map, I am in physically between Westmoreland and Portland, Tennessee. My address is Westmoreland, but we call it we call it Fairfield or Oak Grove out here. I don't know why. It's different everywhere you go. This week I am playing catch up. It's been crazy. I probably should shut this door. Hold on. My wife is on the other side of that wall trying to sleep, and I'm in here yapping. And she won't hear me with that door closed. Not likely. Anyway, it was a catch-up week. I got slammed in the last 2 weeks, and I'll explain all of that here in a minute. And I want to go into what it is, why, and how this can affect your business or any business, and what is the right and wrong thing to do during those times. Going into Q4, which we are almost there today, the date of this recording, 9/21, I believe. Yeah, 9/21/25, September 21st, 2025, for those who are number challenged. It is 10:30 in the morning. It's a Sunday morning. For me to be working on a Sunday, there better be a good reason, because I usually do not. Sunday is the day we're not supposed to work, and I try not to. But sometimes I have to. And again, this is a catch-up thing. I could have done this yesterday, but I decided that my walls in here were shot full of holes. I had moved things around so many times trying to get a certain feel in here, and the more I messed with it, the worse it got. So I said, I'm taking everything down. I'm going to fill the nail holes. I'm going to re-roll the wall back the same color, the blue color that's in there in the studio, and start over and try to get it to where it looks good. You know, it just looks cluttered. There's no continuity to any of this. It's a mess. So I got all that done. Bought another lamp to go on a table in there, and still undecided with a couple things, but good progress. It looks a lot better. I even took my green screen down. I haven't done a green screen. I've done one just a couple weeks ago, but I haven't done any more hardly at all this year. Other than right at the first of the year, I did 2 or 3 long forms, and haven't heard back from that client ever. So I don't know if my green screen lighting was terrible or I messed that up. I'm not sure. But anyway, I took it down. It's just a pull down like a projector screen, and just moved it into the closet. And I can hang it back up in 30 seconds if that opportunity comes back. But I didn't like seeing it when I was doing other videos. I'd have to either get the camera closer or delete it out, which is not that hard to do. But I just wanted to fix it. So needless to say, I was exhausted last night after doing all of that pretty much all day, and running the store and coming back and doing all that. And I didn't get any work done. I should have. I had a PSA that needed to be done. They wanted for Monday. I wanted to do this podcast, and I had 2 more UGC jobs that came in that were, the product actually came in yesterday, and I thought I got to knock them out, because I always tell them I'll turn it quick once that product gets here. And I got those done and edited and sent this morning. So literally about right at $1,000 of work. I did it in about an hour, and it's great to do that and have those times where you think, man, that's pretty good for the effort I put into that. But they're paying, remember, people are paying you for more than the effort and the time. They're paying you for the experience, the training, the licensing, the usage. It's not your time. And I seldom, if ever, run into anybody on Fiverr that argues with me anymore, because they can tell by my rates I'm not going to give. But I had one the other day. He said, I just need this quick, 30-second thing. What would you charge for that? And I'm like, well, how are you using it? And he said, what does it matter? It's only 30 seconds and it's only going to take you a minute to record it. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. And he got mad and left. So what? See ya. Don't ever come back because we're not playing that game here. But fortunately, I don't deal with that at all. And on my UGC stuff, they can't order it. You have to message me and I need to see your brief and then I'll give you a quote. And it's consistent with what's my pricing is on there, typically, but it's worked out better that way for me so far. That way I can build a relationship with a person right up front. We're communicating right up front. And then I give them a quote and I may say, is this within your budget? This is what I can do it for. And sometimes they'll come back and it won't be much difference. Let's say I quoted, a guy's got a 15-second thing and I quoted him $225. He may come back and say, I can do 200. I just can't do 225. And, okay, I'm okay with that because I inflated it a little bit and, it is what it is. And so, you mean for a commercial? No. I'm talking about UGC. UGC. Yes, UGC does have usage. Most of the time it's 3 months. And if they want more, it's half of the full gig's price to get another 3 months. So if it's a $300 gig, you give me another $150 and you can get 6 months. At $450, you can use it for 6 months. At $300, you can use it for 3 months. Most of the time, they don't add. They don't do any more because these things, a lot of them are very short-lived because that's why companies are buying them. They're quick. They're current. It's different people. Maybe they're pushing a different thing, not product-wise, but a different way of trying to sell the product. Sometimes it's a spokesperson speaking direct to the camera, different angles. Sometimes it's product demonstration. Sometimes it's unboxing. So they're doing a lot of different things. And, that's what's interesting to me about it. I've done things where I had to set up a charcuterie board, and I probably didn't say that right, but putting all the meats and cheeses on it, and I had to show me placing it on there, then testing it and tasting it, and, how this, what it looked like when it came in the box and all that. And those I don't enjoy as much. I really try to focus on the on-camera spokesperson. I can do all that B-roll stuff. I do it every now and then, but I love the ones that come in where there's no product involved. Actually, it's maybe a service or they have an app and you just like have a second phone and act like you're using their app. Sometimes they'll send you a link to the app or they'll gift you the app or whatever, and you show it. Those are easy to do. They're quick. Usually the scripts are very simple, and a lot of times they're 15 to 20 seconds. Occasionally they'll go up to 40. I'm working with a company direct that they are doing a lot of videos. They are a merchant services company, and I'm just doing tons. I did 4 Thursday for them, all 4 of them in one day. And it didn't take very long. The only thing it does take a long time is changing clothes that often, because I had to wear 4 different blazers and shirts. And, one of them was shot outside and I'm wearing sunglasses. And then one shot in here in a quote unquote office environment. Another one is me walking, so I mix them up so their videos won't all look the same and try to keep it interesting. So why did I jump into this? Was voiceover not making me any money? Oh yeah, it was doing fine. I'm satisfied with my voiceover business. The thing was, I had gotten better at what I was doing, more efficient, and I was making better rates. I didn't have to have as many jobs to make a certain amount of money, which led to having more time. So then I started marketing a lot more and doing a lot more with that. And it really wasn't doing for me what I wanted it to do. I'd pick up a lead here and there and maybe a new order or a new person here, there, or yonder. But I had to really start analyzing what's working and what's not, and not doing it just because somebody's on YouTube saying do it. How did I do that? How did I sit down and go through that? First thing I did was I went into Nimble, looked at where was I effective and not effective? Radio imaging, very little feedback with the number of contacts I'm reaching out to. Very hard industry. I don't want to call it dying because there are some people who still have a lot of stations. But for somebody new trying to grab them, well, you know what? I'll take what I get. I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm not going to just hammer these people anymore. I shut off the last sequence that it went out. I let it finish. I stopped adding anybody because I had put, I don't know, I probably had 2,500 imaging contacts in there, and that was just country and classic rock. That were the only type stations I reached out to. And then what did I book? The last thing I booked, Yacht Rock. They weren't even on my list. They found me on my website because they were just looking for somebody that was Kentucky or Tennessee. I don't know why, but that's what they did. And they, by searching radio imaging voice in Tennessee or Kentucky or however they did it, they found my website. Anyway, but I cut back on that. That was a big time waste. The production companies, I'm still letting those sequences run. When one stops, I wait a while and I start another one that may just go monthly, and send something once a month versus the initial, here's your initial email, here's a follow-up, hope you got my first one. And the third one's like, hey, hadn't heard from you, but if it's okay, I want to keep you on my mailing list. And then, they don't get anything from me for maybe 3 months. And then maybe every 3 months or every 6 months, I'll send something else. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how I'm doing it. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. With those types of contacts and my automotive contacts, I will let those keep going. And I'll roll the dice, but I really cut back on the other. So I'm trying to be sure I get a sequence set up, let it go do its thing, where once I set it up, I don't have to touch it anymore for a while. It's doing what it should be doing. Happy with that. All right. The other thing I started looking at is online casting. Voice 123, I had already dropped down to the lowest paid level, had not seen anything there since I did that, had not booked anything there since then. And then last week, out of the blue, I get an invite from somebody, hey, would you mind reading for this, et cetera, et cetera. I did. They came back and ordered it. Then came back and asked me, could I do something else? I can't remember. Like it was for Procter & Gamble, and it was some kind of conference they were having. So I was the voice of the Oral-B inventor, the dentist. He was a dentist. And he's long passed away, but they did an AI version of him, in his lab coat and all with his Oral-B logo, and I'm his voice, speaking to people at the conference, thanking them for their hard work and, their dedication and blah, 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 and going through all this, and their vision, I guess. And then they called and wanted me to do the opener for the conference, but can you do it in a different voice? Well, yeah. Sure, because the Oral-B guy was just friendly and he was just, down to earth, a good old down-home guy. And then I could go into the other one, of course, welcome to the Procter & Gamble. Then you go a little announcery. And, yeah, it worked great. And that was a good paying gig. But I didn't do anything. I didn't audition, nothing. So you can pick up stuff like that on there now and then if somebody listens to your stuff. Voices.com, I don't get to it like I used to. I will check on it in the morning. I have not looked at it since probably Friday morning. There may be a bunch of auditions in there, maybe things I should have gotten in on early and didn't, but you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'm not worrying about it anymore. It's not going to tear me down because I have finally built a base of business, thanks to the help of UGC, that I don't have to fight it. I don't have to go on there and feel like, well, I've already got 25. I don't know if they'll even listen to me. If it's something I want to audition for, I will. If I don't, I don't. What about your agents? I have, I've seen the decline in what I'm having come in, but I have a couple of other things going on with other agents where I have two that are sending me auditions that I'm not on their roster. And it's usually when they see something they want to go, oh, let's send it to him because, and they tell me, we love your reads and you're going to land something. It's coming, but I think they're waiting to see if I can land something and then maybe say, well, we need to get you on the roster. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But I'm happy to do it. And those, yes, I get to those. I make sure I have them in as quick as I can and do the best job I can and label them correctly and do what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I still focus on those. But I see very little from the agents that I'm signed with. And that's okay, because I think that makes me feel better, because I think they're only sending me what they think I'm a decent fit for. So I'm good with that. So that doesn't tear my day apart. It's not, it's not overwhelming to me. So auditions are not stressing me like they did 6 months ago, because it was the name of the game. And a lot of people say it's a numbers game. You got to do it. And they're right. It is. But for my voice, it's not that kind of numbers game. It's a different numbers game. And it's less auditions, but you got to do a really good job on it, because it's, it can't be audition mill where everything's coming in, you're just cranking them out one after the other. I really want to put thought into it. I really want to make sure I'm understanding the change points and breaking the script down and delivering the very best I can. And we should always do that with everything. But I think if you get in audition mode, you can get pretty terrible sometimes. The other thing I wanted to do was organize better, because the overwhelming number of jobs I have at a time, some days, and with the messages and inquiries coming in on UGC, it's dang near impossible to juggle it. So I crafted up a spreadsheet. It's like the dashboard for orders. And if I've talked to somebody like in UGC and we've messaged, I put their username in there where I can go back and find that. And, basically what they were looking for. Did I give them a quote? Are they sending merchandise already? Am I just waiting on it to come? And that way I know, because it gets very confusing when there's 6 or 8 UGC projects open at the same time and something comes in, and this happened last week. And I'm saying, honey, did you order a portable heater? And she's like, no. And I'm like, I didn't either. And maybe it's a UGC thing, but I can't remember. It was a UGC thing. I found it, but I had to scroll through a bunch of messages on Fiverr to find it. And then I was able to go, shoot the B-roll, shoot the other thing, and be done with it. You got to be organized. So that's the thing I did. I organized this closet in here. It's got my wardrobe in it. All my mics are put up on a shelf, and it looks so much better. I bought a toolbox to put in my studio, one of those rolling toolboxes. That one of them's got sections got a couple of drawers, and I've got all the nuts and screws and things I need in there. And I bought a bunch of plastic totes and organized them and put USB-C cables in this tote and other cables in this one, and mic accessories in this one, and video accessories in this one, and everything is organized. And I lost 2 things this week during the organization. I can't remember where I put them. That happens. And one of them is a plug for my iRig that goes into my old iPhone, which is the flat Lightning. Is that Lightning? Thunder? I don't know what it is. It's not USB-C. I think it's Lightning. And I can't find it. It'll turn up, but they have the other end's a very unique pin plug that goes into that iRig, and I need to find it. I don't use that phone very often to video, but sometimes I do. So I need to find it. The other thing I lost was a little magnetic wallet. It didn't have anything in it. I was going to start using it some, like on weekends or when I'm running around, just put my license and my debit card in it and not have anything else with me. And it would be stuck to the back of my phone, which would be super dandy handy. But I had it yesterday in my hand. I laid it somewhere, and I don't know where I put it. It'll turn up. I mean, it's just like when you're farming. It'll turn up. That was terrible. Worst dad joke ever. Okay, so let me swing back around one more time about UGC and why. It was a pivot for me because I felt like I had some time, I could make some time, and I had too many people telling me there's a huge market out there for mature, senior, etc., my age, and with my background and skills and what I could do with audio and video, it would be super easy. I'm not the greatest at video stuff. There are people that put out some really good content and probably don't have a lot of effort in it, but I have to really stop and think about it if I want to, do the transitions, but I can't do that stuff like where you jump out your front door and it shows you landing in the desert or something. I don't do all that stuff. I just try to make my video look good. I try to do the different perspectives. When I'm reading, if a guy sends me a thing that's a minute long, it needs to change scenes just like we change scenes in VO. And that's all you're doing is making the scene changes where they're interesting and it keeps somebody's attention. Because if he's just standing there looking straight at the camera talking and nothing else is going on, a lot of times they're going to go right past it. So I try to make it interesting. The perspective will change. I'll be further away. I'll be closer. I'll be a little off to the side, not exactly center cam like I'm looking over at you or whatever. And all this is just watching other people. So had the tools. I thought I could do it. And here's what my thinking was. This will be a good little side gig because I had already decided, and you guys know I've been on and off the fence about maybe I should coach. I don't want to coach. Too many good coaches. I don't want to do that. And I would kind of stick my toe. I said, no, absolutely no. I've even taken all the consultation stuff off my website. Can't do it anymore. Will I help Jenna like I'm going to do this week coming up? Absolutely. I like doing that. That's moderating. That's not coaching. Yeah, sure. I may comment if you try this and see if this helps. I do that, but really that's kind of, she's the one doing the workshop. I'm just there for entertainment, kind of, sort of. I didn't want to do that. Demos. You've made a lot of demos for people, hadn't you? Yeah, I've made several. Some of them were pretty good. Yeah, one got nominated for a One Voice Award. But here's the thing. It's time consuming for me to be the only person doing it. And if I'm writing the copy, doing the research, having the Zoom meeting, doing all that, it takes some time. And I don't feel right charging any more than what I ever charged anybody. So it's not a great ROI. I would rather be doing something else. And I thought UGC, if I can just pick up, one order a week and it's a couple of $100, that's maybe an extra $1,000 a month, and that's just what I was looking for. And I know this is awful, some play money, because there's stuff I like to buy different mics. I've probably bought, 5, 6 wireless lavalier type mics. I bought a couple of condenser, regular mics, not condenser mics, dynamic mics. Some of these USB mics have gotten really good, like the Fi-Fine and the Toner, and you'll see those on Fiverr, TikTok. I've got them, and I've done sample UGCs with them. I'm a TikTok shop creator, so I can make 5 videos a week and put a link in to sell product. I haven't sold anything, but hopefully it builds up, because when you hit 5,000 followers, I think you can do unlimited videos. I'm only at about 2,400. I got a ways to go. So I don't know that, I don't know if I'm going to keep putting time into that. Probably not. But UGC quickly got busy. And what I found was in August, it was about 40% of my business. So I went back and I started looking. I recalculated my sheet where I put my work in it, and it started growing in April, and then, May was okay, about the same as April, and then June it kind of jumped up a little. July it jumped up a little. August it really jumped up. And then it became a viable part of my business that I needed to pay attention to and do better with. And so I started looking into how to make my videos better, how to make them look better. I started watching other content creators and learning from that. And that helped a lot, because my videos are looking a lot better than they did. When I see some of the first ones I did, a couple of them were okay, but some of them were just flat out boring. It was just looking at the camera talking. And, but now it's got better. Anyway, is it hard to get into? I think it depends on the market you're trying to get into. I think the mature senior market is the biggest market right now because there are less people who have the technical and the talent to do it. And there's a huge demand because who buys stuff? I mean, think of who's sitting at home seeing these ads the most. Retired people, and what do they have? Most of them have some expendable income. So if you're trying to sell tech and gadgets to younger people that can't afford it, that might be a harder market to crack because there may be a lot of people already doing it. But I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but where do you start? Fiverr and Upwork's a good place to start. Backstage has now come into play for me pretty heavy. There's another place called Cohley, Cohley, I think is the right spelling. I've booked 2 jobs there, and I think Backstage is going to be more viable than I ever thought. I had dropped Backstage. Now I'm back on Backstage. I'm back Backstage. And I have auditioned for some big brands on there, and a couple of them have already reached back out and said they'd be in touch, that they like what they saw, and we'll see. Pay is not a whole lot different than Fiverr. But the Cohley is. It's a little more high level. And the one I booked on there, it was, and I did it on purpose, it was strictly to get the product. And all I had to do is write a review. There's no video or nothing involved. I just wanted to do that and see how that worked because I thought, I get free product. I'll write about it. That's not hard. And at least I got it free. The other one I may have mentioned is a Farnam, which they're an ag company. They make Endure fly spray. They're coming out with a new Endure Gold, and I have fly spray coming, and we'll be filming at the barn, and it's about 30 seconds, and it gave me an outline of what to say or what not to say, and want me to do it on my own. This is you being you at your place, and just talking about the importance of using this type of product. Easy peasy when it gets here. This one paid like triple anything I've made so far. And so I'm hoping I can break more into that market as time goes on because, hey, I'm still brand new at this. There's people that have been doing it for 3 years, 5 years, or whatever. And so I'm still learning, and I'm still up against that kind of competition. But in this market, this niche, elderly, golden years, retirement, there's just a bunch out there, a bunch of work. And if I had more time to peruse through Upwork and peruse through Backstage quicker and to get on Cohley more often, and I'm trying to get my routines going where I may do that. Am I going to stop doing voiceover? No. I love doing voiceover. This is my first love, but this other is fun. It's lucrative for me. And yes, it has almost taken over the percent of income, but the voiceover income's still coming. So what does that mean? It means I'm not just making a little side money every month. It's almost doubled what I've been doing because the voiceover work's still coming. Yes, like a lot of you, August was slow in voiceover, but I had a booming month in UGC. And September started off a little slow, but it's picked up really nicely here in the last couple of weeks. The first week was a little slow, but man, the last 2 weeks have been great in voiceover. But what I'm thankful for is, I've got my techniques down. I know what I'm doing. It all flows, and my voice acting work feels seamless. And I don't know. I don't think I'm losing my passion to grow the business, but you know what? If I can pick up new clients here and there like I'm doing and somebody falls off and I kind of maintain, I'm pretty happy with it. Would I like to be bigger and have this and this and book more stuff through agents? Of course. Love those jobs. I would love to book. I have never booked a 5-digit job. Never. Not a $10,000 job. I've had some, 4,500s and I think I had I had an 8,000, but that was a couple years ago. And, I haven't hit one of those yet, but I'm perfectly happy down here in and this goes back to Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby, who used to do the middle class VO podcast. That's what I am. I feel like I'm that middle class VO. I'm doing UGC. I still have a YouTube channel I do, which so thankful for them because they are so consistent and they pay so good compared to what YouTube used to pay. I have some outdoor shows that I do for Out There TV for Corey Brossman and his family. Wonderful people, great client, been around 3-4 years. Repeat business from people on their phone stuff, and they seasonally change it out. I've got some HVAC companies I do fully produced commercials for. They are like clockwork, always sending stuff. I have podcast intros that I do for some churches, that's regular work. And I'm sure there's more. I'm just not thinking of it. And then I'll pick up a car spot here and there, and I'll pick up this here and there. And, I'll pick up something else here and there. And then somebody will pay good full price on Fiverr and order something like they did Friday, for that PSA announcement. And I just tell them up front, how are you going to use it? How long is it going to run? And I give them the price, and I usually screenshot GVAA, and I say, this is a current range, and I'll do it for this, and if you're good with it, we'll get it done. And they usually are. So all that has settled down. All right. So it allowed me to focus on this UGC and blow it up and do well with it. And I'm going to tell you, I like it. I really like it. I enjoy it. I'm glad it's working. Is it a fit for everybody? No. You got to be comfortable on camera. You got to be natural on camera, and you almost got to be a goofball in some ways. And I had all that going for me, so that worked. But it's a pivot. It's working, and I'm enjoying it, and it is what it is. And no, I'm not leaving VO. I'm not stopping the podcast. I'm going to go down to 2 a month. I'm going to focus. This allows me to focus on things that actually are bringing money in. And I actually have way more free time because I'm not wasting it panicking and over auditioning for things I probably wouldn't book anyway. It has shown me a path. And let me tell you, your business will do that. The industry will do that. It'll put you into genres. The business will do that. It'll put you into things. And you need to follow that and pay attention to it. Your data will tell you a lot. I've kept data on every job, like where did I get it? Was it a commercial? Was it this? It's kind of like what you do in Voice Overview. I just did it in a spreadsheet, and I just stuck with it. I love Danny's product. I just didn't want to make a change. I was used to my spreadsheet. And it told me kind of the same things. It was a little harder to read, but it works and tells me the same thing. So that's what I use. And it kept telling me things. When I saw my commercials drop, where I would book about 10 commercial spots a month. And I think August was 2, and that's how I knew it was slow. Last month it came up to 4. And, it may get back up to 10 this month. It'll be close, I think. And that, I know that's about what I'm going to do. And I know I'm going to do this many UGCs, this many documentary things, this, a touch of radio imaging, a touch of a podcast intro, and maybe an auto spot or two. And I know where it is, and I'm happy with it. So the pressure's off. And when the pressure comes off, I think my auditions will get better because I'm not thinking, man, I really need to book this, And I don't ever think that anymore. Now I sit down and look at it and go, all right, what can I do with this? It's a little more exciting, like it should be. And that's the way the business should be. You should have fun with it. It should excite you, and you should definitely enjoy it. And yes, it should be profitable, right? Who wants to do all this for nothing? It's hard. It's stressful. It's tough. All right. Over 30 minutes by a long shot. So I'm going to get out of here. There are things to do. I've got errands to run. And anyway, I hope everybody has had a good couple of weeks. I hope this month has been good to you or better to you than August was. And let's look for this last quarter, October, November, December. Let's knock it out of the park. Follow what your business is telling you. Stay in that lane. Don't let anyone discourage you. And the last thing I'll say is, when I got into UGC, I thought, am I going to fight the same thing? Are they going to say, man, if you just didn't have a Southern accent? Not one person, not one. has said a word to me about my accent. They don't care. It's different. They don't care in this because they want you to be you. They tell us they want us to be us in voiceover, but yet the specs say otherwise. That's what makes it a challenge. I get it. All right. Hey, everybody have a good couple of weeks. I'll see you back. First week of October, we will celebrate my birthday. I'm turning 62, and I'm proud of it. Time's going by fast, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to ride this puppy till it's over, and enjoy every day, every week, every minute, every hour here with my wonderful wife, Amy, on the farm, and watching my kids, who are all now adults, watching them form their lives and grow their lives, and taking care of Mom. And that's what we're going to do. All right. Hey, peace out. See you next time right here on The VO Life.
And that's another episode of The VO Life. Thanks for dropping in and hanging on. The VO Life was brought to you by VOinbox.com.
The marketing tool that gives you back something others don't. Make an investment in your marketing that not only cultivates clients, but gives you back time.
If you are a professional voice actor and you need to up your direct email marketing game, VO Inbox might be for you.
Reach out to Troy in an email to get 25 leads free with your paid subscription. Send that email to troy@troyholdenvoices.com.
Need to talk about building your VO business? You can schedule time with Troy on his website in half-hour or full-hour sessions. There's even a free 15-minute consult available, all on the website at troyholdenvoices.com.
Thanks for being here, and join us again next week on The VO Life.